So here's something I've got for Nigel Farage. The Starmer regime has continued its shameful behavior towards local communities and party members by forcing a vital community hub to close in the crucial swing seat of Broxtowe in Nottinghamshire. The party has locked members and their elected officials out of their constituency party bank account. That's where Nigel Farage comes in, which contained around £11,000 of funds raised by members or donated by unions, forcing the CLP to close the community hub it ran because they were unable to pay the rent and bills. So Labour HQ came in, took over the bank account of this locally run hub, and taking away the money. The money is still
they weren't doing it. They weren't doing anything wrong. They were just having it as an act. Wow.
But the idea is that if you raise money for the Labour Party, Labour HQ has the right to come in, and they were saying that the money should go towards campaigning. But then it's like, what is campaigning? Isn't this, in a sense, the best kind of campaigning you could imagine?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sure Nigel Farage will be up in arms about that and be straight on it.
Oh, because of the closing of the bank accounts. Yeah, I'm sure Nigel will love that cause. The £11,000 raised by a grassroots Labour organisation. That's going to be right up his alley.
That's why he started the website for. This kind of thing that's ignored all the time by the big banks and the major corporations and media organisations. But there's more to this. It's because this is a pattern. Also in the article, it says the move by the Starmer regime is reminiscent of similar actions in Bath.
What, on the Labour Party in Bath?
Yeah, where the party banned members from giving £3,600 to food banks, children's charities, and Centre for Homelessness out of a bank balance of around 1.3 million. Because the regime wanted the money for its own purposes. Basically, the Labour Party's been skint since Starmer's taken over because members have left, members have stopped donating. Although actually, according to Labour List, at the end of 2022, the Labour Party is back in the green. But we'll talk about that. Back in the black. I always say back in the green. Bath was also among the victims of a property grab by the party to seize buildings bought out by members of their own party. So members of Bath bought a property, I guess, to use as a hub or something, locally, and Labour HQ have seized that property. No wonder they're back in the black.
Wow. Yeah. How shit.
Thanks, Matt, as always, for your contributions. Another reason why Labour might be back making money is this is a story from Open Democracy about Labour Conference, which is coming up in the next month. Labour Conference set to host weapons manufacturers and spyware firm. Weapon manufacturers, fossil fuel companies, and spyware firm are among those sponsoring events at this year's Labour Party conference. Boeing and Babcock, both manufacturers of missiles, and Palantir, a controversial spyware firm funded by the CIA, will sponsor fringe events hosted by centre-left media company, the New Statesman Media Group. I don't think the New Statesman is centre-left, but anyway. Fossil fuel companies, private health firms, major banks, and international airline groups, which owns British Airways, are also among those paying to have presence at the party's annual conference in Liverpool, which will host politicians and policymakers.
Yeah.
It's easy to make money if you know how.
Get involved with the arms trade. That's the way.
Yeah. Speaking of making money out of being in the Labour Party, here's another story from Open Democracy entitled, Starmer has taken more freebies than all Labour leaders since 1997 combined.
Where's he gone? The football?
Yeah, he's gone to a lot of football because he loves football. It's one thing we know about Starmer. But also, he's been to 2 Coldplay concerts.
Oh my God.
But isn't that like that? I was like, of course, that makes total sense. Starmer is a massive Coldplay fan. Of course he is. In his 5 years as Labour leader, Jeremy Corbyn only accepted one such freebie, tickets to Glastonbury, where he spoke on the Pyramid stage in 2017.
Yeah.
His predecessor, Ed Miliband, only accepted tickets to the London Olympics and Paralympics, opening and closing ceremonies, and a number of contests during the Games. Gordon Brown accepted no such gifts during his time as Labour leader and Prime Minister. Tony Blair led a jet-setting lifestyle, including accepting summer holidays with the regional president of Tuscany and in Cliff Richard's holiday home in the Caribbean. He accepted fewer gifts than Starmer, of course. Starmer's the best. In his whole time as Prime Minister. So even though he's prime minister for like 10 years, Starmer's been like leader for 3 years or whatever, and usually donated the value, and this is Blair, and usually donated the value of any such freebies to a relevant charity. Starmer, on the other hand, has also attended 2 glamorous days at the races, including 6 tickets with hospitality from Doncaster races. What is interesting, though, is in June this year, Starmer accepted a private box of 4 people at Epsom Downs racecourse, including catering admission tickets, total of £3,700, courtesy of the Jockey Club. Now, do you know anything about the Jockey Club?
I imagine that they're likely to be conservatives, aren't they?
Yeah, I made a video about Randox about a year ago. I don't know if you saw it, which very much implicates the Jockey Club. So we've got Randox there in the middle, right? And then we've got, this is the Jockey Club, which Aintree Racecourse, where the Grand National is held, owns the Jockey Club. The chair of Aintree is Rose Patterson, who's married to the Tory MP Owen Patterson, who I think had to step down because of his links to Randox as a paid consultant, and he was lobbying the government. He's lobbying actually Matt Hancock during the pandemic. The Jockey Club also has various links to Matt Hancock himself, who appointed Dido Harding as the Tory peer of head of Track and Trace. She is also a board member of the Jockey Club. And she also gave COVID contracts to Randox. Randox sponsors Aintree and sponsored the Grand National in 2020. I don't know if it still does. And obviously, as I said before, Aintree is the owner of the Jockey Club. And it just goes round in circles, all of this stuff. And this was the people that paid Keir Starmer to go to this race. And it doesn't surprise me. Like this makes, when I started to look into this, makes so much sense. Like the British establishment, it all happens at fucking, Aintree at the races, basically in the private boxes. That's where all the deal making goes down. And Keir Starmer wants a slice of it.